check that out. One rice cake, a little bit of 10-calorie jelly, vegan PhD chocolate protein powder mixed with water, a few smushed up raspberries, some sea salt and a little bit of cocoa powder. Looks delicious. So the rest of the scoop of the PhD vegan protein powder, some rest of 10k jelly and raspberries. And for the main article, just got a nice salad with low calories. It's typically going to be salads for the most part. Chicken, lettuce, pepper, sauerkraut, spring onion, a little bit of salt. What else we got in there? That's pretty much it. And a rice cake, sour cream cheese and chive, I think. Lovely. Excuse me, making a mess. It's delicious. Really nice. Nice assortment of textures. She's laughing at me. She's preparing her time meal, which is really what I want to eat. She's got mackerel in a pot. So in there's shallots, chilli, what else you got in there? Garlic. Other bits of vegetables, like a stinky fish paste, gives it really nice flavour. Some vegetables, so I can't eat the mackerel, way too fatty unfortunately. Oh, and she just reminds me, yeah, barbecue pork as well, lovely. Check it out. That's why I like bulking so much. And that'll be served up with some sticky rice, which is my favourite carbohydrate. Done bought in the past couple of years back. I had a white PC come in, you overclocked.
Okay.
Running into some troubles yesterday. So I'm trying to render a film on Sony Vegas and it just keeps crashing. Did a few things to it and I don't know, it's gone even worse now. It just keeps restarting. It's stuck in this loop, so I was thinking maybe I could bring it in, you could have a look at it.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, just pop me downstairs so we can have a look.
See, unfortunately the computer started playing up yesterday. I was rendering a video, vlog number 8. Some footage from Matt's contest day, full day of eating on Sunday, refeed day. So some good stuff on there. Quite a long video, but it just kept crashing. Kept going to a blue screen. Spent some time trying to figure out what was wrong with it. Didn't really get very far. I think it probably made it worse. So now I really need to take the shot because it's just freezing. It's freezing before I can even do the Windows reset. So yeah, that's when it becomes a real hassle. So I'm going to get that taken to the shop. Hopefully they'll fix that. To keep the momentum going for the videos. Keep uploading as many as I can, as frequently as I can. It's a pretty good PC. I had some work done there 2-3 years ago, before the lockdowns. It was, nice gaming computer, powerful enough that I could render 4K videos. I don't know if any of you know about PC game, but I used to be well into it. FPS games, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Just don't really have the time to play anymore. Which is a bit of a shame. I used to enjoy it. As I said before in previous vlogs, kind of that pressure's been on since 2020. I haven't felt like I've been able to kind of relax, which I think is really important, to have that time to yourself other than work and bodybuilding, and just get stuck in. I think sometimes gaming can be that perfect remedy. Your brain's active, you're not vegetating. Especially the games that I like, they were very competitive, multiplayer based games. And at some point I would like to get back to doing a bit more of that. So you're going to take it to the shop later, before my training session with Karl, and see what I have to say. Hopefully it won't be too bad. So I woke up early today, had a good start, got some cooking done, the vegetable soup, did the kind of grilled breakfast, tomatoes, mushrooms, a couple of slices of black pudding, an egg, some protein powder with raspberries. I made it into a mousse. But yeah, I feel good today. I feel like the pumps hit me hard this morning. I'll put some pictures up there for you to have a look at. I just feel like a good combination of kind of fullness and dryness. I definitely feel a lot fuller than I did, say, Saturday, Sunday morning. Maybe not quite as crisp, but definitely a lot drier than I did on Monday post refeed. That seems to be what's happening. Obviously the amount of carbohydrates you have dictate kind of the look of your physique on the subsequent days. And I ate a lot of carbs on Sunday, more than I originally planned, and I'll go over that in a bit. But yeah, on Monday was definitely a little bit soft, a little bit more water in those areas that are still holding fat. Glutes, upper hips, abdomen, lower back, and that's kind of dried out a little bit. I start to notice 36 hours, 48 hours after that refeed, starting to get that good combination of fullness, the residual pump, but drying out. There's a lot less water kind of underneath the skin, which is good to develop these trends, notice these patterns, and you can use that going forwards for your feed up into the show. But ideally still got fat to lose, and then you'll be able to get away with more carbohydrates without kind of spilling over and getting that watery effect. So yeah, still got fat to lose, going to keep pushing, and then over the course of this week with subsequent low days I'll start to get even drier, even sharper, but the pump will fade, same as what it did last week, and that's kind of the cycle that I'm following at the moment. Alright, so I've just dropped the PC off. Hopefully they'll be able to get to the bottom of that within the next couple of days or so, get that fixed. I've now driven to the gym. I'm going to meet Karl for a little bit of food and a quick chat before training. I'm going to run you through the meal. As usual, it's higher carbohydrates pre-training. When you're on limited calories, limited carbohydrates, it makes sense to get the carbs in, or at least the bulk of them, prior to training. It's not going to do any good later on. So the big percentage of carbs going in earlier and now, ready for this training session. And one thing I will say, it's been very enjoyable to have a sit down space where you can just chill out for 20 minutes, get yourself mentally prepared for the training session, have a chat with my client Karl, kind of find out what he's been doing over the last few days, how he's coping. And I've really quite enjoyed that. It's been a highlight of my training days. Usually it would just be a rush to the gym. Yeah, I'm preparing the session mentally in my head, getting psyched up in the car as I'm driving the gym. But once you're in there, it's kind of, you're straight into train. Whereas here, they've got a sit down location where you can kind of chill out for a bit beforehand and get yourself in that right frame of mind. Let the coffee kind of kick in, get a nice full belly, and then you can go and do your session. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that actually. So I'm going to head in the gym now and run you through the meal. And I'll be documenting the entire session as well, chest and back today.
A lot of heat in the gym with electronic devices, so it's tough. But now this meal is 74.4 grams of carbs, 10.1 grams of fat, 52.8 grams of protein. So it's basically 20 grams of 0% vanilla yogurt mixed with 20 grams of vanilla protein powder, 80 grams of strawberries, 40 grams of blueberries, 40 grams of raspberries, and 10 grams of this golden crunch on my all-bran cereal on top, a caramel millionaire's maxi muscle protein bar, and Monster energy drink.
As I said before, most of the carbs going in before training, so this is Karl's biggest carb meal. Smashing it before a training session. I've got 4 rice cakes, I've had one already. 30 grams of raisins. I've got a prawn salad with tomato ketchup, mayo, lighter than light mayo of course, and the icing on the cake, protein bar, key. Okay, I'm going to run through the chest and back training session now. If you're enjoying the video so far, then please consider subscribing. It really helps out. First exercise, horizontal chest supported row, single arm. And I've changed the execution on this movement for this week, so I'm able to increase the range of motion, get a better stretch on the eccentric phase of motion. Whereas before, unfortunately, the machine's set up so that you can't really get a full stretch. And I was having to kind of lean on my forearm just to increase that by 2 to 3 inches. What I've done now is extend my arm out, slight bend at the elbow, and kind of lean back using my non-working arm as support, as purchase. I'm able to really increase that stretch. It feels a lot better. Then as I pull, I'm essentially trying to bring my elbow back and down and round, which just in my head kind of makes it easier for me to focus on the lat as opposed to keeping the elbow up high, where the tension, there's a more easy time of transitioning to the rear delts and the upper back and the traps and whatnot. So kind of lean in, and as I pull, I lean back and try and get my elbow back and down and round. And it felt good. Really good pump in the lats on this one, so quite pleased. This will stay now to the end of the contest prep. So next exercise, moving on to chest. So we basically alternate between back and chest with one additional back exercise over chest. Now's the primal plate loaded chest press. Really good performance on this. Matched the reps from last week. Might have even actually done one more, to be fair. So yeah, good performance on this. I'll take those little wins where I can. Comfortable machine. Handle could just be maybe slightly better angled for the wrist. There seems to be a hell of a lot of pressure on the outside of the wrist, kind of the little finger area of the hand. Overall, good machine though. I do use the pads placed underneath the legs, so I don't have to go quite as low. It just feels a little bit too low for me, especially with the reduction in body fat, the reduction in overall kind of mass. I'm not, in a position where I'm as high on the bench as I was before, so it just feels more awkward. Then, a new machine in the gym, probably my favourite back exercise ever. It's a machine pullover. This is absolute like gold dust, these machines, for me. I had the joy of using one of these a few years back in a gym that's now closed, Evolution in Lee. I haven't seen one since. And then, they got one in the gym here. Brilliant. So we straight away added that into the back workout. Second back exercise. It's really important to drive through the elbows to try and place as much emphasis on that as possible. You'll want to let the elbows release from the pads, but you've really got to try and stop that. Don't push with the hands. It's all in the elbows. It's the only back exercise besides the dumbbell and cable variations of that, which aren't as good, where you're actually pushing and you're able to train the back. So really good if you've got elbow problems, wrist problems, tendonitis, that kind of stuff. Then we move on to our next back exercise. Someone was on the Smith machine, so we just skipped that, went on to the next back exercise, chest support with T-bar. So again, similar to the first exercise, just perhaps a little bit more emphasis on the upper back area as opposed to specifically the lats. Hard movement, hard to get the air in. Your lungs are just kind of collapsing before your very eyes on this. I found it really takes a breath away as I've got leaner. So now moving on to the Smith machine incline for the chest. And again, hanging in there in terms of performance. This workout, it did start really well. Didn't really notice a drop off in strength whatsoever, so that's great. So working up to failure and then just using a slight spot to push past that point just to get another couple of reps out. So it's additional stimulation, going above and beyond what you would usually be able to do if you were training on your own, unless you're using rest pause or drop sets. But on your own, it's just not quite as effective as a couple of additional forced reps from a training partner. Pec deck up next for the last chest exercise, full stack here for about the same kind of reps as I did last week. So strength is holding up quite nicely for the most part on the chest and back training session. Your energy was flagging towards the end, but still did the job. This movement's actually feeling a little bit weird now, I have to say, not really that comfortable. It doesn't feel like I'm going to injure myself. I think it's because I'm so lean. It just feels different. It's a bit unnerving. Can't quite put my finger on it, but it feels almost like the pecs are so bunched up at the peak contraction, almost like they're going to kind of cramp. It's just a really weird feeling, and perhaps it's taken away some of the intensity on this. Needless to say, it's still a good set. Still pleased, still, very high quality, great pump after that. Then to finish up the back, we've got pull-ups. A real brutal, debilitating exercise to finish up the session. The energy really took a hit from these, I have to say. So a set to failure with 10k, and then immediately drop the weight off and continue, probably on each set doing 1 to 2 additional reps past that point of failure where we're not able to get the full range of motion. With the pull-ups, you could probably continue doing half reps or quarter reps for quite some time after you stop being able to reach the top. So we kind of make the most of that. A little bit of spot from the training partner, my client Karl, just to bang out a few more. But yeah, that really did us in. Hard exercise to finish up, but the lats felt great. Still reasonably good mind-to-muscle connection, even with very low carbohydrate intake. To be honest, that kind of well and truly dissipated by shoulder and arms on Friday. For the last exercise, we did the barbell shrugs, and this was not ideal. We would usually do it in the squat rack, so perfect kind of setup. Both of the squat racks were busy, so we did it on the bench. Wasn't ideal. I was straddling the bench, so kind of felt like my legs were too wide. A bit awkward getting off the rack. Just altogether a little bit frustrating, but got the set done. I don't worry too much about range of motion. I just let the bar kind of drag my shoulder girdle down towards the floor, and I just keep shrugging. Even if I feel like I'm only getting it halfway, I think the benefit of doing that with heavier loads will be greater than worrying about full range of motion with a much lighter weight, personally for me. Oh, we're done now. Job done. That was a hard session. Really flagging towards the end. Got it done. Indigestion. Look at him, it's fucked. Absolutely shattered. That's what it takes. Got to get the training done. Doesn't matter what calories you're on. Got to push through it. Low calories, high calories. Same intensity's got to be there. Feel better now? A little bit more food coming in. Just done a little bit of posing there, feeling okay, a little bit bloated because of the vegetables this morning. I had the vegetable soup. So this is definitely not the kind of food you want, like pre-contest, that high fibre kind of stuff. It tends to linger in the stomach, gives me a little bit of wind at least. So we're more towards those low fibre foods, the breads, the rice cakes, stuff like that. But obviously I'm not competing, so I don't need to worry about it too much, and it gives me a chance to have a nice tasty soup and get a good amount of vegetation in. So I'm going to do some cardio now with Karl, crack out about an hour worth on a treadmill, and then drive home. I've got a bit of soup and a bit of chicken to finish off my day of food. Home now, it's about 5 o'clock. I'm going to sit down for my last meal of the day, which will be the leftover soup with 200 grams of shredded chicken. And this will be it until tomorrow. Looking forward to this. Just to make the chicken more palatable, I shredded it with 2 forks, in the soup as well. It'd be nice. Easier to eat than big chunks or an entire chicken breast. Can be a little bit dry, especially if it's been hanging around, which it has. That was cooked Sunday, it's now Wednesday. I've got a few more breasts left, probably finish that up by Friday. So of course it's going to dry out, it's inevitable. But certain things you can do to make that a bit more tasty, and one of them is putting it in soup or eating it with some kind of sauce. So yeah, that will go down a treat. And I'm okay with not having any more food after that. I'll probably get a couple of Pepsi Maxes later. I've got to do the pizza run, unfortunately. That'll be a bit of a slog, but I'll be looking forward to breakfast. And once that's it, there's no more food allowed, then that's where I am mentally. There's no break in that. Sometimes it's more difficult when the food is higher, especially the carbohydrates. On a refeed day, the appetite then peaks. At the moment my appetite's not really high, it's just more lethargy. Shallow breathing is just starting to set in now. Post the refeed, it's 3 days, and that will kind of get worse as the week progresses. Just that feeling of low energy. So yeah, can't really be as productive as I would like to be because the computer's still in the shop. I can do a little bit on the phone, but not as much. Hopefully that gets fixed quick. So I had a few of the 9 series NVIDIA cards there. No pricing. I inquired, just curious as to what the cash value would be of some of those cards. I don't know whether any of you know about PC gaming, but the rise in the price of graphics card over the last 10 years has been unbelievable. I think the flagship 9 series now, the 980 Ti's, is well over $2,000, which is just absurd. Obviously at this point definitely can't justify buying a new graphics card, but just curious. But they didn't advertise the prices, and the receptionist didn't even know. She said she would have to inquire for me. But yeah, they're gonna be pricey. I've still got the 980 Ti, which is the flagship 9 series. I think I picked that up in maybe 2015, 2016, something like that, just as the 10 series was coming out. But I see no real reason for me to kind of upgrade any further. I upgraded the processor and the RAM and the motherboard and all that in the case and stuff just before the lockdowns. And then the next thing that I would upgrade would be the graphics card. But the prices are so high now, I don't see really anything that is reasonably priced, and I just don't use it enough. It's good for rendering, it does help with the rendering speeds. For 4K video, that's for sure, but most of the games I play are older anyway, and yeah, if I were to play AAA games now, probably have to pull the settings down, of course, a little bit because of the card, but it still chugs along nicely. It's a good card, and yeah, I see no real reason to upgrade that yet. Just can't justify it at the moment. It's obviously not a priority. But yeah, interested to see what they say, what's gone wrong with it. I probably tinkered and made the problem worse. I wasn't really sure what I was doing last night. I was getting frustrated with it. That's enough chit chat. I'm going to get to eating this soup. I'm going to enjoy that. Just chill out for about half an hour or so. Then I've got to get up and go out to the pizza run and watch those nice delicious pizzas coming out of the oven. Does the job. Chili definitely makes the vegetable soup a lot tastier. You've got to season your food well. If you season it nicely, then it elevates the taste. It becomes a lot more palatable. You don't need to dread eating food. Even on a diet, a low calorie diet, I look forward to every single meal. Bar one, which I explained in the video, was the worst day I've had after, when it was 7 load days on a trot, the 7th morning. I just really did not want to eat that. think it was chicken and vegetables. Just felt really strange that day, but yeah, that's the only meal. Everything else I have enjoyed thoroughly. It's just that there's never quite enough of it. So I've just done my second drop off during the pizza run. First one was close, which is ideal, you know, you're spending less money on petrol. Second one was a bit further away, but I guess it gives me a chance to think. I've been doing a lot of that recently. Thinking about how it's going to feel when I hold that trophy up, what I'm going to do, my reaction. How's it going to feel when I have a fully booked online coaching roster, where I get my business to the level that I want it to be at, where I'm able to provide more effectively for the people around me. How's this going to feel? What it's going to be like? You know, ideas. How am I able to get there more easily? Anything that I can do to make this a reality. So my brain's kind of ticking over 1,000 miles an hour doing this kind of work. But the physical energy has dropped real low. My legs are completely spent. There's nothing in there. I fell in the car. When energy's low like this, you don't get in the car, you fall into it and hope that you land right. I'm going to dread going upstairs later. Hopefully I won't have to do too much of that. Especially when people aren't tipping. You know, that's a real pain in the butt. It makes a big difference, guys. So tip your delivery drivers. You get paid pittance, and it's a hard old slog. So, you know, show a bit of kindness and give them £1 or £2. So yeah, it'll be a long old slog tonight. I'm going to get some Pepsi Max in a bit. That'll help. Probably when I get home tonight, I'll hit the sack and lay down. It'll be like my legs will be glued to the mattress. The heaviness when you first lay in the bed is unbelievable. Almost like you're drunk. You're just completely comatized, you know. And I probably won't move until the morning. I've got a nice early start tomorrow, a few clients, so that'll be good. It's just a big push tonight to get it done. Get through it. Oh, so the last job I did really drained my energy. I had to walk a fair distance, then climb up 2 flights of stairs, and I've just absolutely crashed. So I need a pit stop. I need a minute just to collect myself, psych myself up for the next hour and 10 minutes or so. So I've got Pepsi Max. This will help. Just a little bit of a pick me up. God, it's fizzy. Yeah, so the what do you call it? Airbnb. Yeah, so this area is in East Grinstead. So just having a browse through some of those various prices. This one looks nice. Private room in Forest Row. Very quaint, very pleasant, but it doesn't have a kitchen. So no cooking amenities, which isn't essential, I guess. I'm only there for a night. I'm probably going to prep most of my food. Nice garden. I think it's in their back of their garden, you know, like a outhouse or something. Looks quite pleasant. Obviously there are a lot of different ones around the area, so just have a browse through later tonight when I get home, chill out. Yeah, get that booked up sooner rather than later. I want to go and see Karl first thing in the morning. He's just got his booked up, so yeah, really excited. Just got to get through the next few weeks. Feel better actually already after that sip. Just to sit down and chill out just for a minute is enough. I'm going to go back there, probably do between 2 and 4 more before my time is up. Done on my cardio, which is a bonus. That's probably why my legs are extra flaky tonight. And I'm sure it will get worse as the week goes on. Friday and Saturday are usually really difficult, but you're closer to the refeed, so that's kind of easier to handle mentally. Looking forward to see how lean I can get this week. Gonna get back on the road now, that's enough, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's me done for the night. Absolutely shattered. So usually I'd go straight back on the computer and get all some work there, but can't do that, so I'm just going to chill out tonight, finish watching Night Watch, the Russian horror fantasy, plan my meals out for tomorrow, kind of mentally prepare myself what I'm going to have, start to look forward to breakfast, and that helps me out. Appetite's not really there, just fatigue. What kind of noise my brake pad's making, but it doesn't sound very good. I'll see you on the next clip, guys. Cheers.